get spooky.
Starting. Okay.
Might not be that spooky.
Okay. Hold on. Let me take this out. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, Jack, go.
Oh.
Spooky bedtime stories or not.
All right.
And that's it.
That's
Tell
it.
your story.
Spooky.
As he walks away, playing guitar. Nice, Jackson. Nice. What a goofball. Welcome, Ghost. Welcome, JoJo.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm still trying to get the chat open and everything. It was an impromptu stream. I wasn't really prepared for it, but I'm here.
It was
Dropping
like,
like
we's gonna tell some scary stories. Hi, Albert. Ooh, I probably have an echo.
Just know that if I don't talk much, it's because we're in a very intense game of Monopoly right now.
Okay.
that's scary.
I didn't even realize that it was like
That is
midnight, and
scary.
we've been paying this since like 8.
True story.
Welcome, Albert. How are you? Hi, Becky. All right. So this was just a
Hold on.
spur of the moment type of thing.
I still got to tweet this out yet.
But we was gonna tell some spooky stories. Or not spooky stories. So welcome, everybody, because I got some scary stories for you. Scary story is something that happened to me. Which is spooky and scary, and something creepy crawled in my bed. Hey, go to the washer and just push the washer knob in like that. Just push it in. Okay. I don't want to have like that washer sound going in the background. You know.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. Is that better?
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear nothing now.
Okay.
But you get the spooky mirror behind you again.
Yep. So you guys all tell me if you see something in that spooky mirror, because yeah. Little boy, which I don't know if it's a little boy, but if it is a little boy, I don't think it is though. With what has been happening in my house. So the other night we were sleeping and our blankets were pulled back, but like evenly, if that makes sense, like right at the edge, to almost like somebody went like that, and you could feel somebody sitting like right in the middle of the bed. And I believe it's whatever little boy I keep seeing in the mirror. And this is one of the mirrors I keep seeing him. And yeah. And it freaked me out so bad because you can hear it like breathing. And most of the time this little boy is just standing and he has no emotion on his face, no smirk, no nothing, just hands at his side. One time I've caught him like out of the corner of my eye behind a chair, and he peeked his head around, and then as soon as I turned around to look, he pulled his head back. Hi, Emergency. Hi, Tammy. Native Grammy. Welcome, guys. We're telling spooky ghost stories, or not spooky ghost stories, just bedtime stories. I know Ghost got one.
I'll let you finish yours first.
So this little boy, every single time I've looked in the mirror, I see him. I see him every single time. So I tried to avoid looking, but when you're doing your makeup or you're doing your hair as a girl, yeah, you tend to look in the mirror. And that's what I'm thinking, Becky. I'm thinking it's not a little boy. And I started getting that feeling when I woke up to our blankets being pulled back and it literally crawling up and sitting in the middle of the bed. Like, mm-mm, mm-mm. And now he's playing like it's like a trickster thing. You know what I mean? You hear your stuff in your house sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, your house is straight up jacked.
Yeah, for real. For reals. And like I don't know, you go to use the restroom and it lets out a big that enough is enough to just, say nope, I don't gotta go potty so much. And say peace out, rainbow trout, I'm out. So Becky says it's not human. Yeah. It's starting to become more and more active, and I think more because I'm talking about it more, but it's freaky, and I don't like it when it messes with me when I'm like dead asleep. Like, okay, I can see you in the mirror, whatever, but when you're asleep, that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I don't like it. Because you're defenseless, you can't do anything. So that's just one story. I've got many, 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 many stories of like the cabinets opening, been on the phone with people and they can hear like screaming, talking, tapping, and it's not me. I mean, they can see me when I'm talking to them on the phone, so they can see that it's not me. I've had every single one of my cabinets open at the exact same time. So I bought some pink Himalayan salt, some sage and stuff, and the Himalayan salt kept getting knocked off the shelf. And I put it up in the cupboard, and that cupboard would open and get knocked out of the cupboard. Like, yeah. So, and recently it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. So, and it says, Mommy. That's enough to make you just piss your pants. Sorry, but it is. So, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, right. And I think that's what's scarier. You know what I mean? When you can actually hear it, but also when it's messing with you when you're sleeping. So, I'm not sure. I don't know why it's been so active, but just like there's been times our blankets have been taken off of our bed and it'll be placed directly in the middle of the living room. So that means it came out of the bedroom and out through the hallway and into the living room and placed right in the middle. So, I mean, I've had my house blessed by a priest, and it almost is like it felt like it like hid in the shadows. Do you know what I mean? It didn't get it out versus cleaning the whole house and getting it out. It more like pushed it to a corner and it stayed there for a little while and then it just started happening again. But now it's presenting itself as a little boy, like a 10-year-old little boy. So, and that's one spooky bedtime story is when it messes with you when you're sleeping. Hi, President said, how are you? So anybody in the chat, if you guys have stories or anything you want to share, go ahead and put it in the chat, or if I know you, you can come up on panel, but, you know, try to keep it somewhat clean. Yeah, no. And hi, Tammy, if I didn't say hi to you. I think I did, but. All right. Becky says, I saw a reddish brown figure on my balcony peeking in, and it left once. Yeah, that's creepy. That's spooky.
Okay, so it was the winter of 1992. I lived in a place called Cameron, West Virginia, on a dirt road that was about 6 miles long. It's called Wolf Run. And I had a friend who lived down the road. And we would hang out at each other's houses until the wee hours in the morning, whether we was out in the garage working on engines or four-wheelers or whatever. And this particular night, we just happened to be like sitting around his living room playing video games till about 3 a.m. So I decided it was time to head home. But I had actually caught a ride down with one of the neighbors down to their house. So I was walking home down this long dirt road, the 4 miles to my house. I decided, well, you know, it's winter, it's brisk, it's cold. It's the kind of night that the moon was nice and bright and the snow kind of lit things up. So it was kind of that shadowy darkness, but you could see because the moonlight was so bright. Okay. So I decided, well, instead of taking the road that goes out and around the hill, why don't I just cut over the hillside? I cut across the holler and I started up to one side of the hill, and the snow, once you get up through there, is about a foot deep. And I'm trekking through this snow, and my breath is, you know, it's steaming up my mustache and getting froze in there, and I'm just trucking along. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of woods with nobody else around anywhere. And now there's rumors about these woods that's been around for a long time about a Black Panther that roams those hills. What is that noise?
I have no idea.
You hear
See?
that?
Yeah.
It sounds like
What was
somebody
that?
shoveling.
What was that?
I don't know. Like as I'm talking, it's getting louder. It sounds like somebody shoveling snow. It's like
It wasn't
static.
us. I was muted.
Whose turn is it? Brian, did you
I know
mute
it
him?
wasn't you.
I don't know. See what I mean?
That is
I'm sitting
creepy.
completely still too, listening.
Now it's gone. It stopped. Is anybody else hearing that in the chat?
Did anybody hear that in the chat?
It literally sounded like somebody shoveling snow. The sound of a plastic snow shovel scraping on concrete. What it sounded like. Anyway, on with the story.
James said
So
he
I
heard
get
a
up-
little boy's voice.
Interesting.
Becky said
voice.
her voice. I heard
Heard
something. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Peace
so we
out,
keep
Rainbow
going 'cause
Trouts. This stream's gonna go for 8 hours because I'm gone.
So I get to the crest of the hill, the top of the hill, very top is a big open field that in the summertime they plant corn there, and then they cut the corn for silage to feed to the cows on the dairy farm. So it's just a sharecropper type field where they grow corn. But there's nothing up there but wild animals, you know, deer, fox, you know, everything else. And again, there's been rumors of a Black Panther in this area since the 70s. People have been seeing this Black Panther around. So I get up to the head of the holler and I'm cutting into the field, and you know, it's winter. So up on top of the hill where the wind blows, the snow is like crusted over. So when you step on it, it's like you put your weight down and then you break through the snow. It's like walking on thin ice almost across this field. And this field is about the size of 3 football fields long. And I'm just trekking across and I see deer taking off, you know, along the woods lines and everything. It's pretty clear, visible night. But I still have like 27 acres of dense forest to go through before I get to my house over the hill. So I get across the field and I get down and I just break into the woods line. And I'm going down through there, and with the trees and everything on, it's a lot darker here than what it was out there in that open field. I mean, you can still see somewhat, but you're kind of getting tangled up in a little bit of multiple rose bushes and things like that. You're getting tore up by, the briars and things like that. You're trying to find your way through and find the path that goes down to the house. Well, when you get down onto the flat right above my house, there's an actual cemetery there, and the graves are sunk in. Okay?
Oh my
So it's
God.
all covered in snow, and this is perfect circle family cemetery plot up on this hillside flat just above my house. So here I am. I'm like, well, should I cut through the middle of the cemetery or should I just go around? So I go around just to be on the safe side. And as I make it to the front side of the cemetery, where the path goes from the cemetery down to the house through the crabapple trees, I hear this mountain lion cut loose, just this sound, and my heart was like, "What the hell?" It sounded like it was close.
Oh my God.
So I'm starting to trek down through the woods, like trying to be quiet, stealthy, and move my butt over the hill to the back of the house, because I live literally down in the bottom of the holler. So it's probably the length of 2 football fields down over this hill to the house.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Really grown up grass, really high snow amounts. I mean, yeah, it was intense, and your heart is just beating out of your chest, just boom, 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 boom. You could feel every beat. Your mustache is filled with ice. It's cold. It's brisk. You can see your breath, and it's like you're trekking down through these crab apples and stuff, getting torn up. And I don't know if you've ever been stabbed with a freaking crab apple thorn. Oh,
Yeah.
they are the worst because they will lay you up. They will make you hurt for days if you get a crab apple thorn stuck in your arm or whatnot.
Oh. Yep.
So I'm trucking down through there. I look like that. I mean, my breath is like a Clydesdale in the winter snow. Just, hey, it's cold. It's brisk. It's probably about 0 degrees outside with a wind chill of like 15 below, and I'm just trucking, and I hear this mountain lion cut loose. This thing had to be just yards away. Yards.
Oh my God.
I got to the back of the house, and I took a sigh of relief, and I looked back up over that hill, and I to this day, I still swear that it wasn't a mountain lion. It was a panther. I just seen the shadow of something turn around, go back up into that crabapple thicket.
Oh,
now, I don't know if
God.
that's not exactly a paranormal story, but
Still, it's a night. It's a
quick.
bedtime story. We're telling bedtime stories. That's a bedtime story. Not enough to scare the bejeebers out of you, but
it was close. I'll tell you what.
Holy whompers. Welcome, Lou Rock, and I am Wedge, Confidence Plus, Maya, PSPR, welcome, 89 Mattel, welcome.
The moral of the story is sometimes the shortest route isn't always going to be the best.
Yeah, that.
If I would have stuck to the road and went the long way around, it probably would have taken me about 10 minutes longer, but it would have been a lot safer.
Yeah. Oh my God, you made it by the skin of your teeth, man. I'm telling you.
Well, now here's the thing. I had a CB antenna up on that flat. And when they came in and did the logging for the trees and stuff, I actually put that into the deal where they cut a right-of-way path down over the hill. But the right-of-way path that went up over the hill only went up for about the length of a football field. So I had to get through a football field length of like crabapple trees to get to where the antenna was. Once I got to the antenna I was running and gravity took over. and I was just trucking down over that hill as fast as my legs could carry me. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
I was like 17 or 18 at the time, but yeah.
Wow.
When I got down to the bottom of the hill and finally stopped and turned around and looked back over that hill, I swear I seen the shadow of that. It probably was a mountain lion because it was dark out, but it was a dark figure that turned around and went back into that woods. And to this day, I still swear it was that panther.
Oh
just
my
running loose
God.
out.
That's scary. I would, yeah. Mm-mm.
What animal is that sounds like a woman screaming? That would be a bobcat.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, bobcat will sound like a woman screaming, or a female vixen, which is a female fox.
Yeah.
They sound really a lot like a female screaming too.
I've been out on explorers and heard that, and we were getting ready to go into this like tunnel, like a drainage ditch type tunnel.
Blue Rock,
And
you are in the chat where we're at. You have a link to this if you want to come up and share some stories too. Just
yeah,
saying.
yeah. There was we heard that it sounded like a woman screaming, and obviously there was homeless people that were staying in this like drainage thing, this tunnel. And without hesitation, man, I ran right into that tunnel because I thought like there was a woman screaming. And Craig's like, no, it's an animal. Don't go in there. And I'm like, my instincts went, I'm going in that tunnel. And being on that, do you remember being up on the when we tried to go find that castle ghost?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm live streaming, and then we got chased by coyotes back down the hill. But you know, everybody's telling me don't run, don't panic. I'm like, all I wanted to do was run and leave everybody else behind. But yeah. And then my signal was cutting in and out, in and out. So let's see. Nothing like a little fight and flight. To get your heart pumping, right? I got lost in the woods, in the rain, in the Smoky Mountains, no phone, nothing. Took 2 hours to find civilization. I was just angry I didn't have a camera. Oh, wow. Right? I heard one a long time ago, camping. Oh, that's what I thought, confidence. Seriously, that's what I thought.
Lou, if you want to come up, I can get you the link in your Facebook if you want. Let me know.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come up, Lou. We know Lou Rock's got some stories.
Oh, I know he does.
Screaming goat.
I know he does.
We're right. Confidence, yeah. Everybody in that said don't run. You'll be the first to go. And I'm like, yeah, but look at Craig. He's got a lot more meat. No, they said don't run. Yeah, he said, yeah, Facebook.
Okay. Give me a second. I got to get it open. I got to open a tab and everything.
All right.
It'll take me a second.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Jojo, do you have a story?
JoJo's playing Monopoly with her
I
kiddos.
do have a story, but it's gonna have to wait until I finish this intense game. It's getting really bad. Like we're stacking up on houses now, and we've partnered up.
Oh God.
Ganging up on Brian and Monopoly.
Oh no, Phoenix and Brian are partnered, and it's my go. I still have to roll, and me and Star are partnered. Where's the dice?
I told her she should be recording it because I thought it was funny, but
It's been really out of hand. You missed it when you weren't in the call. Oh my God, it got bad.
the
Lou, I
slower
sent you
runner
the
is the one that
link,
gets
brother.
it.
Mommy owes you.
What do I owe?
That's good to know I'm the wedge, because I will push down an old person. I don't even care. Just kidding. Chases you. Do you run or what? I don't know. Hi,
What was the question?
Angel. If a wildcat chases you, do you run or what? Or do you play dead?
Wildcat, I mean, you know,
I
they get
might
this
try to fight it
rough
off with my
size.
walk.
Oh, hi, hey. What are you doing?
Hi, Lady Swan.
I've actually walked up on bobcats and wildcats and things like that. I was walking that same road to that same house, but it was daytime out, and I came up on a snake in the road, and I walked over to the side of the road and I picked up a big rock, and I went over to smash the snake. When I did that, I seen the bobcat take off. He was less than 10 feet from the snake, and I didn't see him in there in the weeds. But they don't, I mean, normally around here, they don't get that big. They're not like the size of mountain lions. They're just a little bit bigger than a large house cat. Somewhere in between like the size of a large a large house cat and like a black lab. So, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I've been around bobcats and like that before, and you know, one of them, you turn around and throw something at them, they're more scared of you than you are of it usually. But if you had a pack of like coyotes or something, dogs is a whole different story because you know they've interbred with domestic dogs and they've lost their fear of humans. And when they travel in packs like that, you know, you don't want to mess with a pack of wild dogs, or coyotes. You know what I mean?
Here's a story for you. I was in a place called Tom's Mountain here in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and we go up onto the mountain, and we hear nothing but dogs all around us. They're making noises all around us. So I start searching the internet to see what, I don't know what it is. Is it a dog? Is it a coyote? Is it a wolf? What is it? And I look, and I end up finding out that the coyotes on Mount Tom are actually coyote and wolf hybrids, because the wolves come down from Canada and breed with the coyotes and make them a bigger, more aggressive breed of coyote. Usually coyotes won't mess with you, but seeing pictures of these things, man, they're huge. And being up on that mountain, being surrounded by all those dogs, we literally locked ourselves in a room. I stayed there for we had to stay there for a good 4 or 5 hours because we stayed just until before dawn before we decided to make a break for it. We had no weapons, no nothing. A lot of people have told me I was being a wuss because coyotes won't mess with you. But after doing the research that I did, I don't want to mess with a coyote wolf half breed, whatever it is.
Yeah, see, that's what I feel like. I got chased down the mountain by some kind of a wolf coyote mix thing, and it took Craig firing his weapon just so we could get to the car. And in the car, because they'll go all the way to the parking lot.
See, you guys got weapons. I'm out there. Literally that night, we didn't even bring a knife with us. I had a quarter inch round stick, which is a very thin, small stick. That's all I had. And my plan was to poke them because the stick would have snapped if I would have hit them with it. So my big plan was to poke them in the mouth and try to make a run for it, which was probably a futile plan. But yeah, very scary. And
Yeah.
I heard one of those cats in Tennessee when I was with John from Exploration Unknown, and those things are freaking, just the sound of them are scary. Like,
yeah, see, that's what it felt like. Like they were surrounding, like coming in from, like there would be two here. At first, there was like a whole bunch of them, and then pretty soon they were splitting off and they were going around the top. So we were down in the little gully, the valley thing, the trail, and they were up top, and there was like 2, 3, like all around. It was the freakiest thing. I picked up me a giant rock, and that was my weapon.
Yeah, that ain't gonna do much.
Yeah,
No.
but in my brain, I'm like, I'm gonna throw my rock, and yeah.
And you're just gonna get them a little
Hope
bit.
it plays fetch.
You're gonna get them a little bit more angry.
Yeah.
But I could feel for Ghost when he said he heard that cat, man. Because when you hear that, your heart just drops really low into a part of your body I don't want to mention right now, but it.
Yeah, being chased by something isn't any fun. Being stalked by something in your house isn't any fun either.
Inside your house? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
See,
that's a problem I'm having right now.
What's going on?
So, I can't. It's been ever since I've lived here. There's always been something, some kind of an entity, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not the only person that has heard it or seen it. Like, my sister, my niece, my boys they've all heard it. And the boys can see it. You know what I mean? So, and it does like things like open cupboards, and I went and had a priest come and bless my house. It seemed like it more moved into a corner instead of getting it out, and it more made it mad. It stayed dormant for a while, and things were good, and then I got some sage and some Himalayan salt and stuff and crystals, and
did you take
all
that
that
salt?
thing did is throw that salt across my house. So I took it from where it was and put it in a cupboard that latches, and that cupboard would come flying open, and that salt would come being knocked out.
I would spread that salt all around your house on the outside.
Yeah, and
all
which
the way
we
around.
have,
all the way around.
but I think and now lately it's been anytime I look in a mirror, I see a little boy. He's about 10, 11 years old, and he has no emotion on his face. He just stands there, and he stands behind me, and I'm like, and I turn to look, and I look back in the mirror, and he's gone. So, like, I've heard him breathe, and then 2 nights ago, the blankets had been pulled back, like, evenly, mine and Jackson's, like, and you could feel it crawl up and sit right in the middle of the bed. And all you can hear is just it breathing. And, I've seen something before this little boy came, though. There was like something that crawled on its hands and its feet. I don't really know how to explain it because my eyes were closed, but I could like envision what it looked like. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like I could see it. And it crawled. I thought it was the dog. And it crawled into our room and right to my face, and then all the way around up into our bed, and then leaned over me. And the breath, I'll never forget the smell, because it smelled like just death, like rotten meat. Like, it was awful. And then it like went over me without even touching me. And
no, thank you. No, thanks.
I was able to finally like open my eyes, and I just instantly started crying and kind of screaming, and Jack was crying, and we just instantly started praying, and we felt better. But yeah. And now I don't know if that thing has transformed to be a little boy, to be like trickster, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I'll hear mommy, and neither one of my kids call me mommy. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. So I've had I've had a really super hard time trying to get it out of my house. But my sister heard my voice one time say something, and it wasn't me. Like, I was in the shower, and so she turned around and say, "What?" And her and my middle niece both looked, and I wasn't there.
Now,
So
I don't want to freak you out, but do you see a face there? I see
yeah.
the two eyes. That's in your mirror right now. I just took that right off my screen,
Go away, little boy. Go away, you.
right
That's
over your
messed
shoulder.
Hold up. I missed it. What?
It looks like it's kind of smiling
Look,
too.
I blew it up, and it looks like it kind of looking like through clouds, but you can definitely see the eyes.
Oh yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah.
I see that.
See, I don't know what to do to get it away from me. It's like, I swear to God, it's been attached to me ever since we went to that
Look,
You can
trail.
definitely see the eyes right there with eyelashes and everything.
You can tell it's you because I literally took it right off my screen
Right.
just now.
Oh my God.
Not to freak you out or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not having the best
I was
time right
seeing
now.
it. I was seeing it, and I was like, "How can I screen capture that?" Wait a minute, I'll just take it with my phone, and I was holding it up there, and I was watching for it to see it again, and then when I seen it again, I hit the button, and I got it.
Yeah.
I'm actually mid panic attack right now. I'm surprised
no.
they even came on. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm glad I'm here because it it distracts me. But you know what? All these scary stories and stuff are
It's gonna mess with you. Well, it doesn't
sometimes I
have.
really
Bedtime
wish
stories don't have to be scary. They could be
sometimes I
happy
really wish
stories.
I could go back to not I wish I could go back to the Lou that doesn't 100% fully believe the story you just told me because of the things that I've seen and heard with my own eyes and ears. Sometimes
Right.
I wish I could just go back to being ignorant. I think
Right.
that a certain part of your brain opens up when you start dealing in these kind of things. And I think that when people are ignorant to them, they can't affect them. So it's
Right.
I really wish I could go back. I could go back to not believing in this stuff.
Yeah, because it was that one explorer that we did and it was just a trail, but it was next to a cemetery. And that's when I started hearing them. Like, and it just is so much chatter, and it's so much chatter all the time. You can ask my kids. I constantly have my headphones in. Either I'm listening to music, watching YouTube, or something because I don't like to hear it. Eventually, you have a headache. Like, I wish I would have never went to that trail. So I'm with
I put
Blue
those
on that.
pictures I took in. I put the pictures that I just took in the Hangout.
Okay.
Like literally, the first one, the eyes aren't there, and the second one, bam! It's like they opened up and they were there, and you can
Okay.
clearly see.
Yeah, I'll have to put it in the Facebook and then on the Instagram too, because yeah, it's freaking me out.
If you guys didn't see it, I will screen share for the chat.
Yeah, let
Real
me
quick.
highlight you real quick.
Okay, click on the photo, bring it up, go full screen with it. Loading. Now, mind you, I just took this picture, and right here, eyes.
What is that? A picture behind you, Ghost?
A picture behind me.
The skulls. What is that?
Oh, that's my lantern.
That you know what? It looks like a little boy now that you say it. Oh my gosh. Look at it. Look at it, direct center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Directly center.
See? And it never has any emotion. It's just a little boy.
Now, I blew that up from this picture here. Hold on. Let me load this. This is the original picture. I kind of blew it up, and you can see it right there. There's the eyes again. Okay. But literally 1 second before that, I took this picture, and it's not there.
Wow. And everybody in the chat said they heard it. Heard him.
1 second later, bam, there it is.
Wow.
And then the blown up version. Yeah, I'd be covering that mirror with a
down.
I'd be covering that mirror with a sackcloth and putting that in a closet someplace.
I've seen some crazy stuff come out of mirrors, like orbs and big old things just floating right out of it. So that's a picture you said? The skulls, it looks 3D. It looks cool. You should send it to me.
It is 3D.
It is, right? It's really cool.
It's not a picture.
That's really cool.
It's an actual lantern. I made it.
Oh, you made that for me. You're awesome.
What a nice gift.
That is so awesome of Ghost to do that for me.
It really is.
Anaki, I'll be waiting on my M&Ms, man.
Well, you're going to be waiting and waiting till I get an address.
Well, yeah, my P.O. box is on my about.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Guessing 666. I just had a feeling. I'm like, watch it be the number. And then Ghost said, what did you say? You said something, and I was like, Ghost was like, watch it be.
That's not a number she likes.
Yeah, and he was like, watch it
add an M&M or take an M&M away.
Yeah, he was like, Ghost was like, watch it be 667, and then boom, it was 667.
So stupid. Well, like I told you before, though, I said she's a very religious person. I said there's no way she's going to give you 666. There's no way.
Well,
have a good night. I am Wedge.
Hold on. So what I'm hearing is you win one of her contests, and she can't even have like your actual address. You have to give her the PO box.
See,
hey,
Lou, there's a cat.
And gentlemen
She's
of the
going
round
to send
table,
you.
welcome.
She's going to send you the M&Ms, but it's going to be coming along with a big ass mirror.
The one behind her. Just saying.
Yeah.
Jojo, you're gonna have to send Brian to my P.O. box.
Oh, that's okay. You're okay. But yeah, no, I've got a couple
if
stories.
you went out to the mailbox one day and there was a big package there and it had a mirror in it. I mean, I've seen Omar receive like I don't know how many supposedly haunted dolls and everything else in his viewer and stuff like that. Could you imagine? Everybody send Loom Brock your haunted mirrors. That's what he's gonna call it.
Oh, sorry. You send me a freaking haunted anything. I swear.
Well, I'm sending you Brian, so what's that make it?
Well, only his anus is haunted.
Yeah. He said only your anus is haunted. Is your anus haunted? I don't know. Some of the stuff that comes out of there isn't holy, so I believe that.
Might be haunted.
Brian just stopped. He's like, my anus, yeah, it might be haunted. He's not even going to deny it.
The smell that comes out of that shit, yeah. Oh.
It's haunted in a good way because it's holy.
What? How? There's nothing I can do. We had like the most intense game and we were still going, but we're like, no, we gotta stop.
Well, yeah, isn't it? What time is it there, Jojo?
It's like 12:53.
Oh, yeah,
Most
but when you're on
ever.
a go with Monopoly, you can't just stop.
We weren't even done. We were still really well off, all of us. So We're
I
like,
would have
this is
kept
never
the
gonna
game
end.
board like just sitting and then resume in the morning.
Well, we can't because the cat would have grabbed the pieces.
Oh, you little sucker cat.
Right? Even the kids are like, no, we want to finish. And I'm like, this is never going to end. I'm like, we'll have to do it next time.
Okay, Rebecca, I will. Because, yeah, that's...
Oh my God.
Yeah, ghost camera keeps going in and out of focus. I noticed that too.
You know what's even
Yeah.
creepier? He's wearing black in an all black room and he looks like a floating head.
Are you a floating head ghost? Are you really a real person? Is that why? Wait. Okay, Rebecca says she feels like the little boy is lost.
No, I think he's a little. Wait, hold on. Can I be me?
Sure.
Okay, I promise I won't do it too often, but he's a little asshole that's causing problems. And it's not a little boy, and I can almost guarantee that.
I'm telling you, whatever was in this house, I feel like is like, however you
I
say,
wouldn't
it
think
became a little boy. Because
Yeah,
I
I don't
wouldn't
think a
see
little
like there would
boy.
be an evil little child spirit left on Earth. You know what I mean? Like, you would think kids would move on to heaven, or you know what I mean? Like,
Not only that, they wouldn't be there trying to scare the crap out of you, I don't think.
Yeah,
right.
they
Yeah.
wouldn't be doing that.
I feel this at night, and this is probably one of the freakiest things is, you know, when it rubs your head like that, but it's real, like, almost feels like a spider is crawling through your hair, like that gentle little, and I always go like that. It freaks me out.
Great. I'm going to have really awesome dreams tonight. This is gonna
Just dream of Brian, you'll be fine.
JoJo's story yet.
We could
Which
tell some
one would you
happy
like?
stories.
Well,
Are
that's
you-
not a spooky
Hi, Eileen.
bedtime
How are
Are you
you?
combing? Are you combing your beard, dude?
Sinister feeling is what I'm feeling, is what Unique said.
Right.
Yeah, that's freaky.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Right,
comb my
Yummy?
You know what? One day when I grow up and I become a real man, I will comb my beard as well.
What is the
Lady
hell is on my
Swan, she
shoe?
hates it. Like when we go to her dad's, her dad will get ready for church, you know, and he'll get the mustache whacked out. He'll curl the ends of his mustache and everything. Kind of looks like the little Monopoly dude with the little,
Oh my god.
all he needs is a monocle. And I'll be like,
Their
"Oh,
Monopoly
that's not
guy doesn't have a freaking monocle.
You know what's funny is Jackson said when I start to grow a mustache, and it's so funny because for the one I mean he had to be like second grade, you guys, and he used to get this I call it a chin hair, right? You could see it only in the sunlight, and I would pull that little sucker, and he'd be like, "Ow!" And so you know he's like. Now that he's bigger, it's like it's still just little, but he goes like this with it. And I'm like, come here, let me pull that sucker out. And he says he wants to grow just a mustache so that he can get the oil so that he could curl it up like this. Now everybody that knows Jackson, think of Jackson with a mustache like this. That boy has no like hair. How are you gonna grow a mustache? I just laughed at him. I was like, okay, go for it, little dude.
So, what spooky
Becky loves
story do you want?
Becky
hey,
said, I can't believe that my fur baby turned 5 yesterday. I believe that my old cat, Princess, sent her to me. Princess died on December 24th, 2015. And I got Luna on January 24th, 2015.
Aw,
That's entirely possible, actually.
that's cute.
That's really cool.
I know.
So-
I want a story that's like creepy but dramatic. You really got to get in the storytelling mode. Dim the lights, light up the campfire. Everybody close in. Grab the bag of marshmallows and let's do this.
Well, hold up.
Right?
What about this Monopoly guy? Don't you remember the freaking Monopoly guy having a monocle?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody does. And now they're trying to say that he never had a monocle, not on any of the games, not ever. And I just seen an advertisement for Monopoly the other day, and the guy doesn't even look right. He doesn't even look right because he has no monocle. Our reality is being changed, people.
Right?
God.
It's a conspiracy.
It is. It's called the Mandela effect. Our reality is being messed with because they're smashing atoms together in this hadron collider thing.
Get Auntie her lighter over there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Lighter? And we'll light
Hold on.
Now, does anybody remember Mr. Bean dying?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
No, he's
Wait,
not.
what?
Mr. Bean is not dead.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. Mr. Bean is alive.
Yep.
Was it a publicity stunt? What the
It's
heck?
reality, man. Reality keeps changing.
What are you looking at?
That's
Do you remember the Berenstain Bears?
freaky. Yeah.
That's not that they're not called that. They're called the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Or
That's freaky.
life
So,
is
like-
like a box of chocolates.
So you're telling me that
This is
Stewie Griffin
conversation.
is running around through the multiverse, changing our history on us?
Yes, our reality. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Damn Stewie.
There you go, Lou. There's 2 pictures in the chat. Go look at it.
Pictures.
Yep, monocle.
Yep. Go look in the Hangout chat.
Sure enough.
Yeah, but that's not. They say that's not real. They say that's not the.
No, he's talking about how people are saying the Monopoly guy never had a monocle.
You did.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't. No, he never did.
They were everywhere.
I know they were. They're not now.
The Monopoly guy.
It's because time has been changed.
Wow.
So I don't know what kind of creepy story you want. Like I've got tons of stuff.
Want the operations that we're showing in
No.
our kitchen?
Your first date.
That's not creepy. That was just pitiful.
When I'm sleeping, I feel someone pressing on the bed, like as if they're leaning over me and checking on me. Oh, Eileen, that's what happens to me too. That's a freaky feeling too.
I sleep sitting up in my chair because I'm afraid I'm gonna die.
Really?
Well,
Really?
I've told you how I got thrown across my sister's room. What I didn't tell you is before all that happened, we had gone to the hairdressers, and I was driving my truck. We were inside the salon. We looked out the window, and my sister's like, "What's in the truck that's white?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Like the only thing that was in the truck was like a little purple fold-up chair." And we could see a white gloved hand waving behind the passenger seat. So we ignored it. On the way back to our house, we saw these like creature-looking things hopping from building to building. And what sparked me getting thrown was the fact that I was mocking it. I was like, "Oh yeah, like I was making fun of it, making fun of the situation." So was she. Well, I was continuing to do that when I was in her house, and I stood up off the couch. And no word of a lie, she said it looked like someone grabbed the back of my pants, the top of my shirt, and just threw me. And I was in the air. I went to brace myself because I thought I was going to hit her coffee table.
Oh my goodness.
It literally shifted me to the left, away from the coffee table, slammed me face down on the floor, and dragged me into her kitchen. And her floor had carpet on it, but it did not have padding under the carpet. And underneath that carpet was concrete flooring. I hit that floor so hard that her bedroom door split in half.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I've also,
That's freaky.
at one of my mom's apartments, again, we were sitting there talking paranormal and that. I went to go shower. I left my sister in my bedroom and I was screaming. And she didn't hear me. She had my music going on the computer. And I'm screaming and screaming and screaming because I felt something shove me and I felt a shower curtain wrap around my throat. She came in and the shower curtain was wrapped around my throat and like freaking the fuck out.
Wow.
Here's a story. Lady Swan is in the chat. She says that our oldest was born 1 year to the day that we had buried her great grandmother. And that day was today.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Today is her birthday.
Wow.
Wow.
Today is also Sharon Tate's birthday.
Huh. Well, when I told you guys that the blankets were pulled back, so Jackson sleeps with his one particular blanket and then like a comforter, right? And that like his comforter and my comforter were both pulled back, but his was his blanket that he sleeps with, that he covers with, and then puts comforter on. That was wrapped around really super tight around his neck. And so, like, I had to wake him up to undo it because I had to sit him up in order to take that blanket off of him. And, he didn't even know any different. So, and again, this morning, I woke up, looked over at him. His blanket was on my side of the bed on the floor, and his blanket was like, you guys are gonna laugh, but it was wrapped around just the top of his head. He looked like as if, you bend over to put your towel after your shower. Like that. That's how he looked. I just started laughing because how did you get your blanket wrapped just around the top of your head? It was that was freaking funny.
Tammy Sprinkle says, I'm living in my old house I grew up in as a child. And when my dad passed away in 2013, I went into the den and almost turned on the kitchen light, and I saw my dad backside just swoop away real fast.
Oh. Yeah.
That's creepy.
Interesting
That's
fact.
really
before high school, I had moved. I had went to 21 different schools before I went to high school. We moved around so much.
Troublemaker.
And if I were to go back to Lansing and go to every single one of the old houses that I lived in, every house that we ever lived in, that I have ever lived in growing up, has been demolished. It's no longer in existence. You can't even tell there was a house there. Every single house that I lived in growing up, including that same farm that I was talking about in my earlier story.
right.
It has now been bought by the coal mine. They demolished the house and it's just a flat. There's no house there. You can't even tell there was a house there now. Every house that I ever grew up in, gone, wiped off the face of the planet. It's like my childhood never existed. Like I have my past has been erased by the
Mandela
government.
effect.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Mandela effect.
Has anybody ever had a dream of angels or of God, or not even just dreams, but things that you felt were like actual real?
I have a cool story. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I know I talk a lot, but hold on. I got a good one. This is a good one.
Okay.
All right. When I was younger, this dream actually has followed me my entire life. When I was younger, I had a dream that I had just gotten out of a car with my cousin's grandmother, and she was a really nice lady. She was like a mother to the whole neighborhood. She would feed you and everything as soon as you came in the door. Really nice person. And we get out of this car, and she looks over at me and she says, "Louis, it's going to be okay." and I look up at the sun, and the sun starts bouncing around in the sky, bouncing back and forth. Then all of a sudden, everything turned to a white light, and I felt that everybody on the planet had died. And I could feel everybody. I could feel like something happened, everybody died, the world ended, and I was in heaven, and I was still dreaming. Now, this figure came to me. You could see it out of the light, but it wasn't dark. It's just you could see it. And every time it would speak to me, this feeling of crying and laughing and like just a ultimate feeling would rush through my body, but I could not understand one word that this thing was saying to me. Now, I woke up from that dream sweating, crying, flipping out. What stuck with me though is the story. A few years later, a friend of mine who's really into religion showed me this story. It's called I believe it's called The Miracle of Marcelino. Or wait, no, that's not it. It's one of the stories, and it's about these children. I believe it was in Spain, and they were talking to the Virgin Mary, and the townsfolk were telling the kids that they're crazy, and they told the children to prove it to them. So the whole town went to this field where the kids said they were talking to the Virgin Mary. And this is actually documented. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people showed up to this place doubting these children. And then in front of all of these people, the sun started bouncing around in the sky. Now those kids were made saints or whatever. Yeah, I believe they're. What do they do to you when you're sainted, right, or something like that?
Right, yeah.
So those children were made saints. Anyways, it was the story. It was what happened in the story, how the whole townsfolk went there and the sun started bouncing around in the sky. That reminded me of my story, of my dream, and it's like it was just so weird how the two went together. That stuck with me my entire life. I'll never forget that dream. I'll never forget the feeling of that dream.
Wow.
And that dream actually affected me so much that my mother could tell you that dream from beginning to end because she's heard it so many times.
Wow.
But yeah.
See, and there's actually a true story where something along those lines actually happened.
That's what I'm
There was,
talking about, the true story.
There was okay. So, well, the way I heard it was a little bit different. They had sent the girls back up to where they had talked to the Virgin Mary, and for proof, the Virgin Mary made roses bloom. So they picked the roses and they carried them down in the apron. And when they showed the roses to the townsfolk, and she dumped her apron out, on her apron was a image of the Virgin Mary itself.
Yeah, now the one I'm talking about actually has documentation of the whole town going there, doubting these children. It's either Miracle Marcelino or Bernadette, one of the two. But yeah, the whole townsfolk witnessed this crazy sun bouncing around in the sky thing. I'll have to look it up.
Wow.
Wow. I do have a story along those lines, but if you want to continue telling your story,
Imagine just right now in real life, you're outside, it's daytime, and the sun starts bouncing around in the sky. It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world.
Yeah. Like Jackson has a story of actually meeting, and he to this day will tell you it wasn't a dream, it wasn't a hallucination. It was he met Jesus and then he met God, and the feeling he got from God was such one, it was so bright. It was like brighter than you just staring into the sun. And the way he tells it, and he's writing a journal about his experiences, right? that he's had medically and stuff, and from his perspective, right? Because I can tell you guys all I want, but it when it's coming from him, he's the one that lived it. Well, he says that it was such a bright light, brighter than you staring into the sun, but the love, like the pure love
You are
that God
explaining.
had for you.
You are explaining the exact feeling that I went through. You are explaining almost exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like crying and laughing at
Yeah.
the same time. Like such a joy that you would be like just
And yeah,
unable to control it. Like it was
there's
just
nothing
amazing.
else. Like there's no hate, there's no doubt, I mean, it's just that pure, I mean, pure love. And so he said that he looked down because it was so bright. And he said it because at this point in his life, he was very suicidal. He's very depressed about being so sick, whatever, all that, right? So he said, until you're able to look up at me, that's when you know it's your time, because the light will embrace you when it's your time. And so, you know, he woke me up and he was telling me about it. And he's, tried going back to sleep, and Jesus came to him and sat on the edge of his hospital bed and told him everything was going to be okay. You're going to do something great.
Did you just hear what you just said? That's exactly what the lady told me in the beginning of the dream. She looked over at me and said, "It's going to be okay."
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy.
And so to have that,
It's crazy. It's
you
almost
have to
like
have that faith, you know what I mean? To that pure faith of
See, I was
knowing.
faith
Yeah.
at that time. I didn't have much faith and not very religious, and you're
Right.
explaining the feelings that I went through, which is crazy.
In
And
which I think it happens to, certain people that really actually need it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying we all don't need it,
at that time in my life I
but
needed it. I was on the wrong path. I was into
Jackson,
drugs. I was on the wrong path. Like
yeah,
I got lucky.
yeah. And so the way he wrote it in his journal, I mean, would bring you to tears, just the way that it's coming from him. But that's just like summing it up for you guys that, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that, and I've heard actually a lot of the same stories coming out, you know what I mean? Of people actually having that same feeling of that being that.
I've never experienced anything like it
Yeah.
ever again. Not ever.
Yeah. And to
And
have
then
just that pure love that,
another crazy thing is they say that if you die in a dream, you die in real life or something. But I had died, went to heaven, and been there for a while in the dream. So that's not true.
right. I had a dream one time, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, and it might sound crazy, but I'm in my dream holding my arm up like this, and I'm walking, it almost looks like a church almost, you know what I mean? Like how you would walk down the aisle of a church, and I have my hand up, and I know I'm holding somebody's hand, right? But I'm looking up, and I really can't see him because I'm just saying because he was so tall, and when I walked, these big doors open. It was super bright. And once, your eyes adjusted to the light, and I was a okay, this happened maybe a year ago, but in my dream, I was just a little girl, probably about 4 or 5. And I see my dad sitting on a bench with my grandparents standing behind him. Of course, I run to my dad and give him a hug. and you know, I was holding Jesus's hand, and he said, "You have a choice. Do you want to go back, or do you want to stay here?" And I chose to stay there because I was so happy, you know what I mean? And God said, "You can't, it's not your time. Your kids need you." And then I woke up. So that's like my experience with that. But Jack has had experiences, many experiences, and that being one of them. That he said, when you hold your head down to the light, it's not your time. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Sorry, I am here. I'm just putting Star to bed.
Okay. Sorry, hold on, guys.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. That was a little strange. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sitting there
just now
watching it.
noticed it, and I'm like, oh.
I don't know what that was all about, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not appropriate for my chat. So, thank you, goodbye, and don't come back.
A little weird.
You have now been blocked from my channel. Unique says, when I died from attempted suicide, I didn't see a light or anything. It just pure darkness and black. There was a voice I could hear calling me and tell me it's time to go back. Your time ain't up yet. Wow. Right, Eileen? It is not a dating site.
I mean, it wasn't really being vulgar or anything like that, but like, it was just really weird. And it's like, I didn't know what was going on, but
Glad I missed it.
Was that
it was in the chat.
you saying
All
that?
right. No biggie.
Yeah.
Wow, I see like 400 messages deleted. Holy moly.
Right? Jiminy Crickets.
Does it delete every message that person said if you ban them?
I think so.
All right, because I'm
Yeah,
like, whoa,
when you-
that's a lot of. I couldn't even click the button that many times.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I need to go put on some Star Trek and get into my like chilled out
Happy
mode. Yeah.
Well, now you can just think about Jackson's dream and yours of having very similar. So there you go. You got a happy thought as you leave my chat.
I bet you if I were to talk with him, like we would
What
both
in the
get a
fuck
lot of
was that?
similarities in that.
Yeah,
It's
I
okay,
bet you
Star, it's
would.
okay.
I really bet you would.
Ryan, what the fuck
And
was that?
eventually he does want to come up like solo on this channel and do his story. Like
I'd like to
his
talk with him in private. That's something I'd rather
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about in private.
For sure. I'm sure he would love to.
Okay,
And someday we'll meet, so there you go. You guys can chat it up, because
Heck yeah.
that kid's had some experiences, let me tell you.
What the hell
But thank
was
you,
that?
Lou, for coming up and
Well,
sharing some stories and
Oh my
Thank you for
whatnot.
having me. Yeah, I gotta bed it down. I gotta be up tomorrow for 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets.
It's okay,
I did
Star.
this.
Go to sleep.
I did this a week ago. I stayed up streaming all night till 4:30 in the morning. Then my boss showed up, and I was very upset, and I had to work that day, and it
Oh,
sucked.
gosh.
But all right, I love you guys.
Thursday I'm doing a stream, and you're more than welcome to come up on panel. For
Sounds
catch.
good.
But so yeah.
I just seen a face in the mirror.
Did you? Oh
God.
my gosh.
Come on, man. I'm trying to
Did it
wait
look
until
like
I
Jackson?
there you there it is.
Okay.
It did
Listen, you
look-
might
it
wanna
did
leave.
look like Jack.
Ooh.
You might want to leave on the right note here because what
Yeah.
I'm about to say is not cool.
Spooky ghost.
Yeah. Let me get out of here before you start freaking me out for the rest of the night. All right, I love you guys. You guys have a great night. Thank you
I
for
love
having
you.
me.
Thank
Love you
you.
too, Lou.
All right, peace out to the
What's the
chat.
matter, Star?
Later, Ghost.
Turn on, Lou. All right,
Peace.
for this one, I'm gonna have to put my safari hat on.
Okay, I don't know.
We might get a little scary here, crikey.
I don't know what the hell that was. Brian was putting the boys to bed. I'm putting Star to bed. The dog's up here. The cat's sleeping on the couch. And something literally just like threw a shit ton of stuff downstairs. To the point where Brian's not sure if like someone came into the house or not and literally like grabbed a weapon and went downstairs.
Oh my gosh. That's really freaky.
Coming back up. You're okay,
Alright,
Star.
you guys, I will be listening to the chat and typing in
I
the
know.
chat, but I'm gonna need, I need it. I'm gonna go have a smoke break.
The walk.
But I'll still be in the chat.
The walk was on the counter. Okay, that was weird. Extremely weird. Hang on a second.
Crikey, my internet sucks. Just saying. Are we still here? Did it
Yeah,
crap
I'm
out
still
of you?
here. No, I'm still here. It scared her.
Okay, so
Yeah, but that's gonna move.
Okay.
Oh. You're an asshole, cat. So apparently the cat jumped up into, like, onto the chair because Brian moved the wok off the counter and set it on that chair that's in the kitchen. And the fucking cat decided to jump up on the chair and knock the damn wok off. Retard.
Okay.
Lou, the walk went for walk. It took a walk.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm good,
Maybe
Donna Rock.
Got a star. I do have a story, however, about you were talking. I'm sorry I have to whisper, but trying to get our daughter to go to sleep. But I have a story. I had a dream, and I used to have it like, and it was before I had the kids. It was like I was about 20, and I would have this dream, and I've actually started having this dream again. And it was a guy. It kind of looked like what our version, like what you see of portrayed as like Jesus. You know what I mean? And I'm alone in like a parking lot. There's cars all around, but there's nobody else. Like nobody, just me. And he appears out of nowhere. Okay, very calm, not anything threatening or anything like that. Like you don't feel threatened. And he literally walks in front of me, looks behind him, looks at me, and it was one of those looks like, follow me, you know? So I follow him. And the next thing I know, we go and we're all of a sudden in this store, like in a grocery store. And didn't buy anything, just walked around. We get back outside, walked back out to the car, and I never had a car when I started the dream. But I'm now in this car, which he is driving, and he pulls up to this big house, and it's filled with people. Like, I mean, filled with people. And out of it, he opens up the trunk, and there's a shopping cart there. And he opens up the trunk, and we're loading bags, like bags of groceries that we never even bought. Okay. And loading them up. And just when you think that, like, I go bring the cart full inside and nobody's in the house, and then I come back out and he fills it up again. And I go bring it back into the house. And the whole time, he never spoke. Never spoke. Not one word was spoken. Okay. In this entire dream. And I go into the house, I empty it. I come back out, same thing, fills it up. And he did this like 20 times. And it never ran out. Never. Like it was like I was constantly filling this cart and bringing it into the house, coming back out, filling it again, bringing it into the house. Well, about the 30th time that this has happened, he hands me keys, gives me a hug, says, I love you. And the house was like mine. Like there was papers on the table in the house. The house was fully furnished. There was papers on the table, like a mortgage paper signed with my signature on it. It was completely signed. Everything was mine. The house was always filled. It never ran out. Like through the whole dream, the house never ran out of anything. There was always money coming in the house. There was always food in the house. There was always, like, the house was mine. It was bought and paid for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be
And,
so cool.
right?
What
But
an awesome
it was
dream.
really weird. It was really weird because, like, I was having that at, like, a really low point in my life. And then
Right.
it was, I would say it was happening for about 4 months straight. I would have that dream every single night, every night. And then anytime that, like, I've noticed that anytime that we've been really struggling, I have that
Mm-hmm.
dream. And I have that dream for like 3, 4 nights in a row. And then something happens and we're fine. Happens all the
Oh,
time.
wow. So like a reoccurring dream type
Yeah.
thing.
It's been reoccurring since I was 20 and I'm 32. But it's always at the low point in my life.
Have you ever had a dream that, how can I explain it? Like you wake up and whether it be a good dream or a bad dream, and you go the next night and it's like a to be continued. So it starts off from where you left off.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same thing happens the next night and the next night. And it's like, okay, I'm over these to be continued. Just get to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That, yeah. I wonder if it's, I don't know, it
See,
just being on your mind. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I
I don't
believe, like,
know.
and it's always the same man. It's always like growing up, you go to church and that, and you see these drawings of what people depicted to be Jesus. You know what I mean? And that's what
Right.
it looked like. But there was no bright white light or anything like that. It
Huh.
was just feelings, and there was never, ever, has there ever been words spoken. Never.
Wow.
But he always gives me a hug in the dream. Always.
You
And then
know,
he's gone.
Jackson says that when, and he says that when he met Jesus, it's not even the pictures that, you see of him being all skinny and, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. He doesn't look like that,
Mm-hmm.
which is, you know what I mean? And I think he's seen a picture one time at church and he just stopped dead in his tracks and went, and that's Jesus. And the deacon and the father stopped behind him, like, wait, what? So, yeah.
See, like, I believe in dream analysis. And, like, I studied that stuff for years, and I can come up with an explanation. The only thing that I could think of is that it's never going to be, like, at one point, some point in my life, it'll be where I'll never have to worry. Like, I'll never have to go without. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only thing that I can come out of that dream that I can think of. Like, there's
Hmm.
nothing negative in the dream. It was odd, but it was very calming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very, very weird.
Um, Wow. I don't know what the story is. I don't know if it's in the Bible. I don't really know, but I do know that the going to church they I don't want to be echoing. Am I echoing, guys?
No, you gotta hear this.
What are we hearing?
Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that?
No. Was it Eagle?
No, you didn't hear like a weird noise? Hello? What the hell?
I'm hearing
Okay.
my
You guys-
internet keeps cutting out, so I only getting bits and pieces. Everybody.
Okay, you didn't hear that weird noise? It was like
No.
I wasn't able to. No, I was froze up at the time.
oh, okay, you missed it. The dog was like snoring and she's behind us and she was breathing so hard that her, because of, you know how her lips are, like she slobbers a lot and that. Her lips were, her lips were flapping as she was breathing, so it was like, I was like, what the hell?
No, but I heard a little kid giggle.
A little kid?
Yeah. It sounded like a little girl giggle.
Well, that might have been me. I was laughing.
No, it was like a little kid though. It was I don't know how to explain it. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't know.
'cause I was like trying to keep it down when I was laughing. I was like, and I had the mic away from me, so it might have been me that you heard.
Oh, maybe.
I was trying
I'm
so
gonna
hard
just
not
say
to
it
laugh.
was you. Okay.
Yeah, probably because I don't sense any in here other than Star. The boys are sound asleep, so. And
Well,
that's
you
my
guys,
phone.
I'm gonna end this. I just thought I'd come on and we could do some little bit of bedtime stories before everybody heads to bed. Scary, not scary. Um, so it just came to me, and yeah, I wanted to share my experience of when I'm asleep, leave me alone. So I want to thank everybody for swinging in and sharing their stories, or thank you, Ghost, Jojo, Lou Rock, for jumping on. Um, and yeah, I will definitely be streaming again soon. Maybe tomorrow. You never know.
Sounds good.
Jojo, you want to say your goodbyes? You're like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Ghost said his goodbyes. He just dropped out.
No, I think his internet cut out again.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you, Aniki, for having me up here.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, guys. We love you guys. Much love and peace, love, and faith. Remember, just keep that little bit. It'll get you a long way. Bye, guys.